Hey friends, it is May and I'm super excited because it's time to give you a tour of my vegetable garden. And look, I get to wear a sun hat. I actually love this with, you know, a wide shade because I like to be sleeveless and it covers my shoulders, so it's really good for sunblock. This happens often, and this might just fly away, so stay tuned, maybe it happens. If you have followed me, last year I did smart pot gardening and I loved it. I think it's a great way to start, it's a great way to garden. I loved it so much that this year I wanted to change things. So in February I decided to redo my whole side yard and add some raised beds, and I follow Casey from Lauren's Farm. Casey really inspired me to add color to the beds, so I've done that. I've incorporated that. Last year I didn't do any flowers, so I'm doing a lot of that and I really love it, so I highly encourage you to do it as well. I think part of gardening is you love the process and you love to see everything, and the color is amazing. I will actually add the link to all of the videos of the demo and the changes that I did here. I have 4 videos with all the stages and that, and hopefully it helps you if you decide to do this. I don't have a large yard. The other side of my yard is an orchard and my outdoor patio, so this is all I have. That's it, but it does go all the way around, and even though some of these areas don't get a lot of sun, I still get a good at least 5 to 6 hours on the side, so it's really good. So let me stop rambling and let me show you. This is the entrance. I did have a kiwi vine that was doing really well and then it just died. I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's still there, so you can see this is it, and it still looks like it's alive. It's got some new growth in there, but I don't know if it'll make it. So my next option would be to do some climbing roses. I think I'll do that instead, but we'll see. This is so we're gonna walk to the east side of the house, and here is the one garden bed that I don't have anything in. I will say that I have these two, casting a shadow. I have these 2 little items. This is a potato vine, and this is actually a potato plant that both of these were growing into my compost bin, and it looks like this one's coming back. It was struggling a little bit. This bed here has been waiting for my strawberry paw potato seeds. They're red potatoes. They were back ordered. I got all of my seeds, basically all of them, from Johnny Seeds, and those are the only ones I still have not received. I called them. They were supposed to get here last month. Long story short, they will be here within the next week or so, so I hope that it's still good enough to plant, so we'll see. But that's what this bed is reserved for. We're gonna start off on this side. This bed right here, you can see through my living room window, and it is right next to our fire pit, so I wanted something bold and pretty, so I added again from Casey, I added the crane red in between broccoli and cabbage, and they're getting pretty massive. I didn't expect these to get this big, and this one actually has like 2, like it's split down below, and I just left it. That's why this one is much larger than the other one. They're casting a little bit of shade here. I did cut one of the leaves here to allow some sun to go through. I don't know if I should do it to this one yet, but it's doing good. I mean, it's not showing signs that it needs sun, so we'll see. And if you come to the back, well, actually if you come here to the side, this is green beans. which we already have some, and I'm so excited for. Look at these beans. Look at this. And I didn't even know this. I think I found these this week or so. Look at the little baby. Oh, there we go. A little tiny baby. And then I've stuck some randoms in here as well. I really wanted to have some herbs in between because I know herbs sometimes need some more shade. And we have some cilantro. I had some lemon balm that didn't come up. I don't know what happened. These right here were all seeded indoors. And then these, the cilantro was directly seeded. These were indoors as well. This is the Snapdragon. This right here is Victoria Blue Salvia, which is budding. I'm super excited for. And then more Blue Victoria Salvia. I was growing these in little pods, and I added sunflowers. So it's 2 sunflowers in this corner, 2 sunflowers in that corner, and I also snuck in here a watermelon. That's a watermelon. These are trailing nasturtiums, and they're going to trail out, so you're going to be able to see those to my patio. And then we have some Brussels sprouts here. This one is, see, look, it's got some aphids. So I've been trying to deal with that, and it's the only one, so I'm not sure what's going on. The Snapdragons are going to be rose color, and we have some lavender in the front. So I think I'll have a good color combination of the blue, the rose, the purple, and then some flowers on the corners. If you come back over here, the beans, the watermelon, I snuck one in here. They will trail out. So I wanted something that wasn't going to do the same on this side. So I put the marigolds here, which I'm in love with. Like, they're budding and budding and budding. It's just over and over. I think I'm still casting a shadow. These are tiny tomatoes, and they're getting really large. I wasn't expecting this. I was thinking these were going to be smaller. And I just had really bad winds this past weekend, and this one snapped, and I'll show you towards the end of the video where I have that, and see if we can still save it. But it has tomatoes everywhere. There's just tomatoes everywhere. They're gorgeous. That was the very first one. It looks like it's already getting ready to harvest. And I also snuck in here some more Brussels sprouts. And back there's another potato vine that I found in the compost. I found a few. Some more Brussels sprouts. I really wanted them, and they look beautiful when they're growing. And see, my winds here are pretty tough on these plants. I might have to stick these down. But this is the Snapdragon apricot. It looks like popcorn to me. And then we have the Blue Victoria Salvia. And yeah, that's it here. I will say that I think I would have added some more because there's a lot of spacing between them, and it's just the one stalk. So it's very thin. Over there, those Snapdragons and Blue Victoria Salvia took a while to start budding out. And I think because this bed right here receives just the most wind out of all of the garden beds. So I added some more marigolds here. I don't know what variety this one is. Queen Sophia. I think these are orange. I added these. I directly seeded these little tiny tomatoes. I believe they're the same variety as those, or they're the Super Sweet 100. This is lunchbox peppers. One of them is struggling, but these other 3 are just doing great, and they're blooming. This is a cucumber, and the other cucumbers I had here you know, didn't come up, so I added some more seeds, and look, one just came up. I hadn't noticed that one. Wow, I love noticing new things. And that might be another one. Look, we have another one coming up. Look at it! It's coming up. So this is a different cucumber. It's an Armenian striped cucumber. I'm excited to try that. They look kind of funky, but it's good to add that. I won't go there yet. Actually, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go around. This is bed number 3. Love these marigolds. And look at these right here. Look at the color. Just gorgeous, gorgeous colors. And this one's getting really tall. It's coming all the way up here. Down here we have the sour gherkin cucumber. And this is a little small. They look like little baby watermelons, and they're supposed to be sour. Casey talks about these a lot, so I decided to give them a try. Those are bell peppers, and I added some more Brussels sprouts. See, there's quite a few there. And over here I added a different look. I did the 2 crane reds, and then I had a 1 leftover cauliflower, and I decided to put it this way, so I think it looks really good. Snapdragons is, well, look at this snapdragons. I really need to put a support there. But these are the ones that have been blooming, and it looks like I'm finally getting another one in. So I have to fix that one. Back here, there's some more lavender. Hopefully this comes up. This one's struggling as well. But we'll see. There's another one in here, and this tomato is just like taking over. I snuck 2 sunflowers in there. We'll see how they do. This is another tiny tomatoes, and these are also doing good. I don't think they have any tomatoes, but I seeded these here, and that's the difference. You see those tomatoes, and then you see that tomato. I seeded those indoor, so it's a difference. And I seeded them in February. All right, so there's a lot of tomatoes here. This is like my tomato world. And I didn't want to cage them. I didn't want to cage my tomatoes because I did that last year, and the winds on this side of the house are really strong that I had to constantly pick them up, stake them down, and it snapped my tomatoes, and I just decided to let them run free. I had 1 volunteer last year in a smart pot, and it did great. It looked really good. So I'm trying it this time. No cages here. So let me show you what they're doing. So if you can tell, that tomato comes from here, and it loops over and comes this way and comes all the way up here. And we have tomatoes growing. That one's kind of heading towards the back. And then I have another one down here that starts there, and it's trailing over. There are some tomatoes there, and it's just kind of doing its own thing here. And I'm really loving it. It's not bad at all. That mint I have in a smart pot. It's been there since last year, and I decided to keep it. I think later I'll add another tall, maybe planter, and add some color. Over here, like I said, these are all my tomatoes. But before I go there, I'm gonna show you what's blooming right now. That's my first nasturtium that's blooming. And I snuck some sour gherkin cucumbers there. And I did the same look over here. There. And there. And this is about to bloom as well. See how it's getting really windy? It's normal. This is a giant marigold, and look at it. I mean, it's really big. It comes out like this one's about to bloom. But look at these yellow marigolds. They're gorgeous. And I'm glad I put them here because these are all my tall plants. In the very back, those are tomatillo plants. There are 2. And then this one right here is 1 limb that broke off of that one when I had them indoors, and it is growing just as good. You can tell the difference. I mean, if I were to plant this one indoors, it would have been the same size as those. See the difference? But it's doing really good. In the very back, some more tomatoes. I got one that's heading in that direction, one that's heading that direction with tomatoes as well. And I think that one doesn't have any yet. I haven't seen any. I snuck a sunflower in there. This one is a pink Berkeley tomato. It's struggling a bit. So we'll see what it does. But it's got my biggest tomato. We'll see if we can get it to get better. So this one is trailing down. I did have a branch coming out from here and that snapped off. But the rest of the plant is doing good. The wind is pretty powerful in this area right here. Over here, here's the other tomato. I have a lot that's trailing out. This is the pink Berkeley, and look at that beautiful tomato. And there's a couple more that are in there. On this side, I wanted something that was going to trail out, and this is melon. This is a cantaloupe, and it's trailing out pretty good. And then over here is watermelon. This one's trailing out this way, so at some point all this is going to be full, which I'm excited for. And then right next to it is zucchini. This is zucchini, and then this is squash. They're starting to bloom as well. This one was opened this morning and I loved it so much, and it's doing really good. On this bed I have all my peppers, the rest of my peppers, and you can tell I have sunflowers, and I added a lot more in between. I was growing these in little pots and I just added those. So in between there are smaller sunflowers. You can see them in the back. And the reason for that is just for succession planting, really. It's once those sunflowers bloom, then the next batch will come after. These are serrano peppers, habanero, and jalapeno, or vice versa, I think. These are 4 jalapenos and 4 serranos. I think these right here are having the same problem as the other one, so I don't know what's wrong. I think I might have to add some nitrogen here. But everything is still blooming, and I added some more marigolds here. So the idea is I have some color in the front and some tall sunflowers in the back. This bed right here gets a lot of sun, so I think it'll be good. There's no shaded because it's staggered the way I had it planned. On the side here, these are cucumbers, 2 of them. They're doing really good. On this side, now these 2 beds here, they don't get a lot of sun. These are the ones that get the least amount of sun. I think they get about 5 hours because the sun comes from, this is the east side, and so by the time it gets over the fence and the other side of the house covers it, you know, it only has about 5 hours. But look at the lettuce. I have lettuce, I have trailing nasturtiums. These were going to trail out. I have beans here. Look at the beans. These are still doing so good as well, just like the other one in the first bed over there. There's a lot of beans in here. I'm hoping that these will trail out as well. And I really like nasturtiums. They were actually one of my very first plants, flowering plants, so I added a lot of them in my beds. All the lettuce varieties that I had some spinach here in the center that right after I planted, we had some really strong rain days, and I think it just blew them. As you can tell, there's a variety of mixture everywhere. So I just reseeded some more lettuce, and those are coming up and they're so beautiful and tiny. These are doing good even though they don't get that much sun. These are the first peas that I had, and I think they're about to retire, but I still have some that I'm ready to harvest. And then I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna put in the center yet. That is spinach. In the back I had added some snapdragons, and it looks like they might do okay with not too much sun, but see, the seeds went everywhere. Like there's some in here too. I don't know how that's gonna go, but the idea is that they were gonna be in the back. Over here on this side, I have some red cabbage. They're doing good so far. And then this bed has a mixture of things. We've got some melon here. I really wanted to test what could do good with not so much sun, and I mean, they're pretty much doing the same as the other ones. I mean, it took them a little bit longer to kind of kick off, but I think they're doing good. And I had other things here that didn't do well. The dill kind of went this way. It was supposed to be here. That's the tag for it. And here's another area where I just kind of added some sunflowers in between. Also another plant that I had grown last year. I had one and I loved it so much, and now I have so much of it. This is a Alaska mix nasturtium. I wish I would have kept the other one, but we had a pest that took it, so I only have one. Let's see if I can put the other one once I pull this off and see if it still grows. But the idea is that I had two on each side. Sunflowers are still doing good. One of them is just doing way better than the other. Here is another, my famous potato vine that survived all year in the compost bin. And I didn't think it would make it, and it's growing fabulous. These are some watermelons that I snuck in here. I had some zucchini that my little rodent took as well, and it looks like maybe it's trying to survive. So I'll keep it. And then right here I just added some oregano seeds, and I think I saw a couple come up, and I added some more cucumber seeds in here. I think some of them are coming up. See little seeds in there. On this side, another experiment. I wanted to see if tomato would grow here. Look how successful that is. I think it's quite successful. It's also trailing down to the shaded side, so we'll see. Here's my famous nasturtiums. I added that. This one was one of the little stragglers that looked like it was dying, and now it's doing fabulous. There goes my sunflowers again. And I have some dill growing here. I have some cilantro. No, sorry. This is celery. Celery is doing really good. I did seed this one indoors, and it looks like it's doing pretty good. This one was directly seeded. In the back I have zinnias, which now that I see my zinnias in the front, I'm a little bit afraid of the space that I allowed them. I had a cabbage here, a red cabbage that the rodent took as well, and now we're just going to see if we can grow some lavender in between, and I might just add something that's from the nursery here. I'm trying out the Brussels sprouts. I've got some marigolds. I also have some cucumber here. This is cilantro. It's doing really good. And I added some watermelon there as well. On this bed, we have the beets. No, these are not beets. The radishes, and they're doing really good. I think it's time to harvest. some of these. Might just do that for dinner tonight. I did try some beets and maybe some will still survive. I'm not sure. So I went ahead and added a little extra melons that I had. These are all my carrots. I have not thinned them out. I will start thinning them out when I can start snacking on the babies. Over here I have strawberries, different variety. There's some in here. These are directly seeded and it looks like they're coming up a little bit better than I hoped. I have some little babies here, and then these two are actually seeded indoors. So I'm super excited I did that because I get to see the difference. I also added some more watermelon here and some melons. All of these are the new seeded ones, and they look, I want them to trail out, so it looks like they're doing good. Last year I had one garden bed and it was here in this area, and I had these and they're still alive, so I'm super excited. I love celery. I love to juice it. That's all celery. I don't know what these are called, but these have bloomed every day, it looks like. And then I didn't even know I had kept this because it just looks strange. And I'm like, well, this doesn't look like a weed. And then it started to flower, and I noticed it's chamomile. I did seed chamomile in my old bed, so it's doing really good. Now if we come on this side, we're back here. This is the cabbage that my daughter brought from school, and it's still doing really good. I think it's time for us to harvest it, which I don't, you know, it hurts me to even think about it, but I think I'm gonna add some zucchini here. I'm not sure yet. This is my very first nasturtium that I grew, and it's been here since last year. I chopped it off and it's growing back, so I can't get rid of it, and that's why I have nasturtiums everywhere. This is my zinnia and onion box. I actually snuck this one as well because I want the watermelon to trail out. I love watermelon. We love watermelon. The onions were seeded indoors, and I love the look. The zinnias as well. Look at the size of these zinnias. Look at this. It's my entire hand. Look at this beauty. And these are from Johnny Seeds. Look at the color. They're just beautiful. Beautiful. And I didn't know zinnias took this much space. I thought they were gonna just be one bloom per zinnia plant, and I was very mistaken. There's so many buds in here, and every one of these is, I mean, it's just crazy. So expect your zinnias, well, at least this variety. I have to check what variety this is, but totally gonna add it to my every year garden. And the onions are doing really good. Look how big they're getting. I seeded these indoors. I have red onion and yellow onion. Yellow is my favorite, red I love on salads. It's only me, but I wanted to grow them, and they're doing really good. Let me show you real quick. Over here I have a tomato that snapped, and I might keep it. It might survive. This coleus also snapped because of our winds, but look at the size of this branch, and look at all the tomatoes it had. It looks a little sad, but I think it'll do okay. The coleus, I have these in my window. It looks like it's growing some roots. We'll see. So I'll go ahead and take you as if we're walking. You can see all the color. You can see the view. And then if you come over to the side, that's the rest. I have plans on in the future. That's my compost bin, so I'm gonna change that. I want to make that end look pretty, like some a potting bench or so. So don't look at it yet. But that's it. That's what it looks like. It's a lot of hard work, but it's totally worth it. And it's not too much time. Whoop, look at that. it doesn't take too much time. I water once a day. I come check them for pests, and I love to come and just look at all the plants. I take off dead leaves, look for pests, and that is it. The heavy work was building the beds. Putting the seeds in, to me, is a lot of fun. It takes some time to kind of think about where to place things, but once you get started, I think it'll come natural, and I love it. I think that's it. Stay tuned. I'm going to do a tour of my orchard. It always gets stuck. Next, and that's doing really good as well. Well, do I stay in the shade? Do I stay in the sun? Guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.